Hey everybody, it's Iceman 50 here. We're gonna work on a KitchenAid Professional 6 Series mixer that I was given free. I did help this guy out and I fixed his dryer, repaired the circuit board for the dryer, put in a new relay for it. So, you know, he said, you know, I looked this up and this is about a $600 mixer, and he said he had issues with the gearbox or whatever. So anyways, he said that the gearbox was blown up a couple of times. He talked about, you know, using it for making heavy dough. I mean, I've never seen a KitchenAid mixer blow up, especially a professional 6 series. You know, I mean, my mother's had them. Lots of people I know have had them. This has got the cool attachment for the other bits that go in there for meat and stuff like that. So anyways, we're going to pull it apart and we're going to see what's wrong. I'm going to give this to my wife and because she's always wanted one, and I figured, you know what, how bad can it be? I looked up the parts, and you know, I mean, at the worst it might cost me $100 in parts or something. That's if I got to replace the whole planetary gear assembly and everything. But we're gonna find out. I watched a whole disassembly video on this already, and you know, I got a place to get the parts and all that. So all we got to do is dig in here. Now, the owner told me this. So this is the original owner. It even came with the original cardboard box that it was shipped in, and I got a bunch of attachments. I got the cover. I got this paddle, and then I got a. I think this is the dough hook, and then a whisk, and then of course, you know, we've got this nice stainless steel basket here. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up and see what's going on with the gearbox. I don't think it's gonna be too bad, but so my original point is that the original owner brought it to a handyman repair guy twice, and it broke twice. I don't know what he did. They claim that they replaced the gears. I mean, who knows? When you bring it to people, you know, are they telling you the truth? I don't know. I don't lie to people. I just tell them what I found. You know, some other people I think maybe like to inflate things for cost or whatever. I mean, I looked into it. Like I said, I told the guy, you know, it could be $100, and he's like, it's too much for me. I've already got a lot into it. You know, the original price plus fixing it twice. I said, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I think that's what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this apart and see what's going on. I know you got to start at the back. There's a screw here. Like I said, I watched the whole disassembly video. I'm gonna start at the back here. Take off the band, and go from there. It's just pretty simple. This thing's pretty thin. You could mess this up pretty. I can already feel it bending. So this is one of those things you got to put in a safe place. If you step on this thing, it's done. It'll turn into a pretzel. I'm just gonna set that over there. Now, there's some. Okay, so this is the bucket up and down. So there's 4 screws here. They're Phillips. Looks like number 2. Phillips. You know, and I know some of you may be wondering why I don't, you know, not using a lot of power tools, because, you know, with stuff like this, you're just you're asking for trouble if you stick power tools on here. See, I can tell somebody's already been in here. This screw is not, it feels a little stripped, and that's why I was talking about not using power tools. That was kind of my point, is that, you know, if you want to take your time, I mean, power tools are useful for some things, but in a situation like this, you know, I'm just trying to be careful. I'm not trying to strip anything. I don't want to strip the casting of this thing. I mean, you know, you strip the inside of the casting of this thing and it's done. I mean, yeah, you can tap it out, all this other stuff. You know, drill it and tap it out to the other side. But, this one seems kind of ate up. This doesn't seem good. I'm going to try a bigger. This looks like a number 3. Oh, it's too big. Well, we're just going to have to get creative here. I got a star bit. So I might replace these screws after this because this isn't too good. Now, I don't like seeing this where it's, see, I put a star in here. That's another trick. If you are having problems with Phillips screws and they're kind of messed up, you can use a star bit. I don't know if you can see that. See that? It's a star bit, you know, and you can put that on the end of the screw. You know, it's a Phillips, but you can get it. So if you guys have problems with that, that's one way to do it. All right, so here we go. 3, 2. I'm kind of afraid to open this. All right. Huh. It's not as bad as I thought. Okay, let's see here. What do we got going on here? So, I can see right away the transmission box here. It's got a huge crack in it. You can see right here. There's some sort of clip here. And then you can see this huge crack that goes from here all the way through here. And it goes here and here. Now these could be from over tightening the screws. I mean, it could be from all sorts of stuff. This actually looks really clean and really nice in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here. So I know I'm going to need a new transmission cover. Oh, it's cracked all up in here. Man, I can't see, you know, hard dough doing this to all this. I don't know what's going on here. It's actually kind of scary because what happened? You know, ooh, as part of the as part of, you know, figuring out why something's broken, you know, you try to figure out like what happened to it. And I do not know what happened to this. I mean, obviously we're going off what the guy said, the owner, that it blew up. But, you know, one of the things I was reading is that, you know, if you don't get all the nasty grease out of there and everything, that, you know, you can still have metal. If it tore up, you're going to have metal all up in that grease and everything, and you may have issues later on down the road. I kind of feel like that's what was happening, but now seeing this, like, this is kind of crazy that there's... Oh my god. That is the nastiest shit. There is no way... There's no way that this was cleaned up. There's no way.
Why don't you show that to everybody?
Can you?
Oh yeah.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's disgusting. I don't. You know, it's supposed to be full of food safe silicone. I mean, oh, that does not smell like food safe silicone, everybody. That smells like gear lube to me. To be honest with you, that's really gross. It's all black and brown in there. And, yeah, this is absolutely disgusting. You can smell it. Ooh. It smells like... It almost smells like bearing grease. Or... It almost smells like when you go into an elevator. I know that's like a weird thing, but, like... I've been in there when the guys are doing maintenance on the elevators, and this kind of smells like the lube and stuff that they use. Oh, it's gross. Well, that's definitely messed up. And you can see how thick this casting, like this plastic casting is. You can see that it's just snapped. Whatever this grease is that's inside of here is it didn't really come out of that area, but this all does not look good. I would have to give that person oh boy. Let's look at these. So here's a helical cut gear. Oh man, you can see the teeth. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Teeth.
Move the flashlight over a little bit. There you go.
The teeth are ate up on this thing. It's right. There's a spot here. Oh God, don't drop this. Not on the carpet. There's gears ate up in a bunch of places. Oh, shoot. That's what I was talking about. Oh, gross. I need to get a... Here, we'll just set that right there. The motor shaft looks okay. That's also spline, you know, helical spline. That doesn't look like it has any damage. Now, as for all the gears, the rest of the gears here, oh, that looks like white lithium grease, to be honest with you there. That looks pretty nasty. Oh, so this has got a, yeah, I forgot about this. It's got some clips and stuff. I don't have a clip removal tool at the moment, but maybe I can, use a little one. Alright, everybody. Sorry for the interruption. I keep getting phone calls. Kind of hard when you're making videos on your phone. So that's how I do it. I'm trying to get this. There's a reason that they make snap ring pliers, because this sucks. That's it, it's off, finally. Oh, I got an extra bag here for some of these parts like this, the C-clip. I'm gonna put this thing in here. This is gonna need, oh, snap. Yeah, you can totally see. This is, okay, you can see this. Look at the bronze bushing. It's all snapped and broken here. That's what did it, is this bronze bushing failed and the whole thing kind of came apart. It's hard to see, but you can see it's supposed to be round all the way around, and it's not. So there is this washer here, and then there's a bearing. See, yeah, I remember this. So there's this washer with a race in it. Then you got the bearings. Then you got another washer with a race in it. And then you got all the gears. So basically, we're gonna need this new helical drive gear from the motor. It goes from here to here, and then it drives this gear. So this is all shot. This is, the hell? There's a piece of electrical tape shimming the bushing on this side. That's also not right. I can tell you that much. Electrical tape would never be in here. Okay, so that must be that guy's fix for some odd reason. I don't know why. Oh, everybody, this stuff is really gross. I don't like this stuff. It's so nasty. Okay. Now we're getting, oh man, That's a honeymoon fit right there. So this gear's got some wear on it too. You can see on the faces, right in the middle, there's some wear spots all around. So this is going to need to be replaced for sure. And then we got this little pin. It's just a little pin holding the rest of the gears. That comes out. And then the top gear comes off. Now, this is the one that rolls against this other piece here. This piece rolls, and that's actually what drives the piece here. So what we got to do is we got to... Oh, man, I didn't know these were going to be so... Oh, I keep digging my fingers into this grease. Oh. This thing's screwed anyway, so we're just going to pry it off the shaft. Okay. It actually came off pretty easy. Now, this one doesn't look messed up. This definitely looks like white lithium grease here, people. Some kind of nasty grease, some white lithium grease. None of this is food safe or approved. And this is why you don't take your stuff to somebody else, because why would they care? I'm seeing some wear on the face of the teeth. It's hard. I'm not sure the camera will pick it up, but I can see it. I think we're gonna look into replacing this one too, because that's just nasty. And I really don't want anything with this grease to go back into this thing, to be honest with you. Oh, and there we go. So yeah, then the okay. So the gear that spins the shaft looks okay. This one looks fine. It's got some stuff on it. Oh, almost said the bad word. I'm trying to keep this a little PG. This looks fine. Now there's an O-ring here. We're definitely going to need to replace that. That's the barrier between the grease getting into your food. So you definitely don't want that anywhere near your food. The bore of this thing looks okay. But the grease in this thing is just absolutely disgusting. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on this, and we're gonna pull this the rest of this apart here, just so I can get access to this. I'll take out the control board. Oh, what is that? That actually looks like that's either dough or some kind of grease. That's yucky. Alright, well, let's, oh, there's a washer down here. Interesting. Oh, it's like phenolic or something. It's some kind of like phenolic spacer to prevent stuff from going in there. Okay, so, well, I got me a bigger bag, too. Oh, God, I don't even want to get this grease by my face and my mouth. Oh, this is not good. Alright, we're going to pause here. I'm going to clean up, and then we're going to tear into this thing a little bit more. Maybe I can get the top off the pedestal and everything. This hull needs to be taken apart. At the very least, scoop it all out. I have a small ultrasonic cleaner. If I take all this out, maybe I can submerge half of this in some cleaner. Maybe to start, I got some water, maybe some isopropyl alcohol. I don't want to use any harsh chemicals, because I don't want there to be any kind of weird reaction with any kind of grease that I put back in there later. Obviously, I can clean it all off. I just would, seeing as that food is at the bottom end of this thing, I don't think I want to use any harsh chemicals on the top here. If anything, even simple green or stuff, that stuff's like, it's friendly and non-toxic, but we'll see. So I'm going to get this pulled apart. I'm going to go wash my hands, and then we'll come back and we'll pull this apart, and we'll go from there, all right? We'll be back. All right, everybody, we're back, and now that I've cleaned my hands, it's still under my nails. So we're gonna, this is the motor control assembly. I need like a... Oh, this is a number 1, but it's a little longer. Man, I'll put these things in here. Jesus. Okay, well first let's start with this little. We'll get with the electrics first. Well, like I always do, we're going to get a Sharpie marker, and we're going to label these as I'm looking at them. From left to right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That way I know what goes where. Some of my tools. Oh, I'm trapped. So, you know, to assist with getting terminals off, you can use like a little screwdriver like this. This is just a little cheap one. You know, you can get them. Usually they give them away. Like I used to do HVAC, and they give stuff like this away. You can find them just about anywhere. It's just a little adjustment screwdriver, they call it. But you just get behind the connector and you can just, you know, give it a little bit of force while you pull out there. And then all that comes right off. Oh, yeah. Let's not try to drop this stuff in the grease. I don't know what this stuff is. It's like a little Hall effect switch. This is how it determines the rotation speed. Is it's got like a little Hall effect sensor here that goes to the control board. I'm gonna try and see if I can. Man, they're bionic. I don't know what the deal with that is. Let's see if we can. Sometimes you can use a flat blade too. It has to be the right size. Oh, see, this feels like it fits. So, you know, the Phillips. Sometimes you can do this. I'm gonna try not to strip the screws, but you know what? I don't even care if I do because I'll just go and get more. I really like to know where my 8-in-1 or my I usually carry a Klein 10-in-1 with me. Those things are pretty handy. I can do just about anything with one of those. I'm not seeing it here. I guess I need another one of those too. Let's see what we can do here. We'll try the smaller one. Again, you know, in a way I kind of wasn't prepared, I guess. I mean, I got my tools, but, you know. Downwards pressure. You know, I might just, if I could, you know, if these are metric or whatever, I just get some, I have some hex cap bolts and stuff. I might just change these to all button head cap screws because I like those. I use those a lot in RC cars because they're pretty good and stuff doesn't strip out like this. This is, I don't know, I feel like somebody took a power screwdriver and jammed this stuff back in because the heads are pretty kind of ate up on these things. Okay. So here's your speed control. Part number, I see 9707221 Rev A. above that it says H01-03. Oh, so it's not marked. So there's a couple revisions. So the one that's marked with some red gliptol or a red marker says here, it says H01-04, and it looks like 9707220 Rev A. And so got the slide control here. We definitely need to clean this out, and we'll put some, you know what, we'll use some of the same food safe silicone in here to lube up this this slider speed knob. I don't know if I'm gonna mess with taking this off or not. Everything looks okay. I turned it on before and it does run, so you know, I don't think this is the issue. We're gonna set this aside, and we're just gonna keep going with what I was thinking, which is, okay, so there's, oh nice, the screws are loose. That's also not good. You see this? It's got all this play in here. So there's a screw in the back. There's one screw here and one screw here, and it should be tight, but you can see that this whole thing is moving. It's this, you can see it back and forth. That's not good. That'll definitely eat up gears too. So, you know, if somebody didn't, you know, oh, it's loose. I could just, it was not even tight. So if someone didn't tighten this up, you know, there's not a lot of room for a washer here, but I might actually, you know, get some split washers, and you know, we'll put this all back together. I think I'm definitely going to be using button head cap screws too, because like I said, I use those for RC cars, and I got a lot of good tools, you know, custom handle tools and stuff that work pretty good and they're pretty fast. Get this out of the way. We got our... Okay. So you got your line in here. Okay, so here's the power coming in from the I know you can't see that. Hang on. So you got your cord here. You see that? It comes in the back here with a nice grommet. There's a screw. So it looks like 3 screws is going to take this base off. And that's kind of what I want to do. So we're going to, so we're going to take off the ground lug from the wall, and then 3 screws, and I think this top should come off from the rest of the base. But I guarantee you those are going to be, and those are bigger screws. Now those might be a 3, number 3 Phillips. Yeah, oh yeah, and that fits. That's nice. Those fit good. I mean, I wouldn't mess with. I don't know. I wouldn't mess with these because they feel pretty good. They're pretty big and beefy. This is good. She blows. Okay, so before I take that all the way off. Man, I don't know if it's the casting that's got crappy threads in it, or if it's the screws. I don't know. I definitely am gonna, whatever these are, I'll figure it out. My guess is they're probably metric, even though, you know, is KitchenAid an American company? I don't know, probably, but you know, everything else is not made in America, so it's probably metric. So, but once I figure that out, we'll get some new stuff, because that's pretty gross. And I'm thinking I'll get a tap and I'll clean up all of these holes, because they're not inserts or anything. They're not like little key inserts or insert. They're just tapped right into the cast metal here. So we'll clean that up. I'll get a bottom tap of the right size, and we'll go in there and we'll make sure that the threads are nice and clean, and then we'll get some nice screws to put that all back together. Hello. Is anybody in there? No, there's nothing in there. This is just the mechanism, which this all looks really clean and nice in here. And you know, the only thing again this needs is right in here on the slides is some grease. We can take this what we'll do is I may take this apart. It looks like, just to get a good clean on this, because I don't want anybody else's little stuff. So it looks like there's a little you can access a screw or a nut from the backside, which will allow this piece to come off, and then you can just take and slide this. No, you can't quite slide it up. There's a pin and a screw. We'll figure it out. Even if I can't, I'll move it up and we'll make it the best it can be. I'm not going to go crazy with trying to, make it sterile or anything. I mean, obviously the most important part is all the surface. I mean, you wipe this off, I'll do the best I can, and it's just going to get dirty anyways. But, it's just kind of dirty from dirt right now. And grease. So, yeah. Remember, kids, always wipe off your tools. Yeah. I forgot that I had grease all over these. Especially if you wash your hands and then put it back. It's a good thing my carpet's toast anyways. It's just an apartment. And I don't have to pay for it, so. For the carpet, that is. So, we've lived here almost 10 years, and so anyways, alright. Let's push this carcass back over there. Let's get this thing in the bag. Oh God! Oh yeah, and so there's gear. There's a gear in here, right? So there's this gear in here. This is for the. This is like the. You would call this the accessory shaft. I might call it a PTO shaft because that's, I'm used to farm kind of stuff, and that's what we would call it. But so. This is all nasty, so I'll need a new one of those. I'll look at, later we'll look up the, I'll find the website and I'll show you. We'll go through picking all the parts and everything. Oh, and I can definitely it definitely looks like I can see some shiny metal that's not supposed to be like that. Oh, I don't even want to look at this anymore. It's so gross. I just want to get rid of everything. Okay. So very simply, it looks like we can get, yeah. Okay. So this is a friction fit cord grip. It just kind of, there's a channel that it goes into, and you can just kind of pry it up. And that's it. Now we got our trophy. Predator reference. Alright. So, which if you guys haven't played the new Predator game, it's pretty good. You need to play it. Alright, well, so the next thing to do is clean out this disgusting mess, see where we're at, and I hope I don't have to buy it. Oh yeah, and you can see this, since this is like a planetary setup, the gears that were inside of here, they ride around in here, so we should, look at these gears, and all those gears look okay. There's some crap in there, but for the most part, all these gears look good. So that's a relief because this is an expensive part. I don't want to have to replace this whole thing, and that would stink. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna figure out what I've got, what chemicals I've got, what we're gonna do, and I'll come right back. All right. All right, everybody. So I just wanted to show you this motor. You can see that I was talking about this Hall effect switch. This is how the controller board knows how fast the motor's spinning. There's a little, in this case, it's a little donut permanent magnet on the shaft, and then this little Hall effect sensor is just clipped into the body of the frame. And as you spin this, I know you can, if you look here, you can see it spinning. But when you spin this magnet is moving around, and it's counting the magnetic pulses from the magnet through the Hall effect switch, which is just like it's like a transistor that reads magnetic fields. So when you spin this, it's telling the controller how fast it's actually going. So it can actually, you know, maintain the proper speed. There's a feedback loop, right? So, you know, it's got brushes and everything. I don't think we're gonna mess with the brushes or anything. I think the motor's fine. There is this little seal at the end. That's kind of gross now. It's all full of that shmoo, whatever that was. Whatever they put in there, it's all full of that now. So I'm gonna see if I can get another one of those pieces too. So we're gonna start by. I guess I should have put something down on the. What we're gonna do is we're gonna scoop some of this out. Oh, not satisfying. I don't care what anybody says. This is. It's kind of like when you get a pack wheel bearings, but this is even more disgusting. I mean,
that's a mold.
look at the color of that grease. Look at that stuff. I don't know who. Like I said, somebody else worked on this, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't look food safe to me. I mean, the food safe silicone grease that I've seen is clear. This is not clear. This is clearly disgusting. Let me go get another. I'll be right back. Alright, more technical problems. I gotta be charging my phone at the same time that I'm using it. And then I walked up and the gimbal freaked out, so. We're just gonna. Oh, God. I really just need to. You know, I don't know if any of you guys have kids or whatnot, but this is like changing a dirty diaper. This is really bad. I thought I was past all that. Oh, what is it? What's this? Yep. And I'm sure this is a piece of that bronze bushing. It was tucked away in the corner here. You can see it. It's all copper looking, well, bronzish copper looking, right? That's a big chunk of it. So obviously, whoever worked on this did not clean this out after they fixed it. Which, when I was reading, some people were saying that, you know, that's like the first thing is that, you know, you got any metal left over here, which is true. It's all meant for just, everything's has this.
No.
All right. So the gimbal doesn't like having the cord plugged in and having the to my phone and having it at like some drag on it. So it is kind of complaining and giving us a gimbal error problem. Anyways, we got enough juice now, I think, to finish up what I want to do. This is definitely going to be not a one and done video. We're going to have to, you know, there's going to be several parts here to this, and we'll come back, you know, when we'll do the ordering of the parts, then we're going to have to come back to put in the parts. So yeah, this is, alright, now I gotta, oh, starting to get this grease all over my hands again. Alright, so I'm gonna go and look and see what kind of cleaner I got, and then we'll come back. I'm gonna get rid of this mess too before I track it all over everywhere. Alright, I'll be right back, everybody.